Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of my Dungeon Boss Tactical Series. As promised, we are picking up with our beast teams. We are looking at the PvP aspects of how you can use the beasts and maybe where they shine, where they don't shine. We'll cover a couple of little tips in terms of where to use them. But in general, I think the people who are going to get the most out of the beast teams, provided you even have enough of them, are going to be the lower level players, probably level 30 and under. Once you get up into the 40s, where my other account is, you're going to find that there's so many other teams that can just beat them that it's not really worth putting them in on defense. So I chose tonight to do this partially because it's the end of a season and the start of a new season. So I'm going to be in a lower league to start with. So I know that seems a little bit cheap, but in order to show where the beasts can actually excel in PvP, I do need some targets that I can actually kill. So let's first start out with PvP defense. When we look at PvP defense, there's obviously some specific metas that you simply cannot avoid. So for example, if you do not go with a fast hero on PvP defense, you open up the door for pretty much any number of fast heroes to come in and stomp your team. The only teams that can really stack up against that are usually the reptiles, when you're forcing the opponent to basically commit to a certain way. If you just come into PvP defense with 4 beasts, I guarantee I'll beat you every time. Just go in with Torchy, Shadowblade, Shade, and Kira. Team's dead. Guaranteed. So you pretty much have to have a fast hero. So if you're really dead set on going the beast route, you have 2 options. You can go with either slow user interface. That's option number 1, apparently. You can either go with Lupina. Some people swear up and down by Lupina. Here's my beef with Lupina. Yes, she's fast, but her opening skill, her Chaos Howl, does not do any damage. So when you have somebody that goes first in PvP and doesn't do any damage, you're sitting duck, because then they can again basically have the exact same effect as before. They can come in with a fast team and just decimate the entire rest of your team because Lupina didn't do anything to kill them. So it used to be when people would come into PvP and lead off with Yorick, I'm like, thank you very much, because Yorick doesn't attack, and now I can use anybody I want. I can use Igorok to freeze the team. You could use Yoko to stun the team or daze the team. You had so many options. So if you're using PvP defense and you want to use beasts here, sticking with Lupina first is a very risky move in my opinion, because she doesn't attack on the first turn, and I think that's sort of a death sentence as far as PvP goes. Anytime I see Lupina in PvP, I almost always attack those teams too, because I know that it basically gives me a free turn. So where does that leave us in terms of our defense then? You pretty much only have one option, and that's going to be Torchy. So pros and cons about Torchy. He is an epic. He can have an extremely high attack. He's shifty, and he's got a pretty high crit rate. Downside, his epics don't really help him that much. He doesn't get a bonus to attack. He doesn't get a bonus to skill, but he does get the crit. But as far as defense goes, Torchy's never going to be strong enough to soak anything. It's all but guaranteed, unless he dodges, he'll be dead in the first turn. So the benefit you get out of Torchy is that he gets to attack first, and they don't know who that's going to be. The downside to that is his first skill is Bat Out of Hell and not Lockjaw. So what that means is he's going to do a basic fire attack on somebody, and personally I don't see Torchy killing many people. A lot of people are tough enough where this just doesn't kill them. So unless they have somebody like Willow or a weaker green person, Torchy's not killing anybody. So basically right off the bat, in terms of PvP meta and needing a fast hero, you could bring somebody in that either A, can't kill anybody and doesn't damage anybody, or B, can't kill anybody but damages someone. So right off the bat, your first turn is already loads and loads less powerful than an opening Shade, an opening Kira, an opening Shadowblade. There's already a ton of better options. So like I said, this is where it cycles down a little bit. If you're level 30, sure, an opening Torchy might be a great opening gambit. Opening Lupina might be a good opening gambit, because you're not as at risk of dying in the subsequent turn. Let's just say hypothetically that we can survive with Torchy, and we're going to use him anyways, and we're looking for the rest of our team then. Much like we saw with the campaign team, the only benefit to using beasts is they do have pretty good synergies together. So the ones that I'm going to consider here are definitely going to be Grognog and Julius. The reason being is both of those guys offer buffs to beast health. So if Torchy's ever going to survive an opening attack from whoever, it's going to be with the buffs from both of those two. So you have to put Grognog in the first position, though, because if you don't get the slow with Grognog, you may as well not even run a beast team at all, because Grognog slowing the team is going to open it up for the rest of your beasts to actually do their thing. So Grognog should always be in the first position, aside from the fast hero. If the opposing team does not have a strong enough fast roster to come in and kill you, that slow from Grognog followed up by the rest of your beasts is going to be sort of sealing the deal there. So then with Grognog first, consider Julius. He's not necessarily needed, but he does have an AoE attack for the first one. He does put CCs on people as well with random effects, which is good, but some people might want to switch things up. So personally, the other beasts that you could use, as far as PvP goes, I think Leonidas has some value. It depends who else he's paired with, just because he's going to bring somebody back to life. The obvious other choice to use is going to be Pygnius because of Torchy's opening attack. Because Pygnius has a bonus to crit, an extra damage percent there, it's more likely that Torchy can actually kill somebody. Kind of the same with Grognog as well. Personally, for me, I would opt for more of a diverse team rather than a single color team. So if you want my actual opinion, and like I said, this will never fly at 70. I'm not even going to equip it on mine because it'll be a 100% loss rating guaranteed. But my team would be Torchy as the leadoff, and then Grognog, and then I would use Julius, and I would follow it up with Pygnius. That would be my team. The reason I picked Pygnius is in the event that we're able to survive the first turn, Pygnius is going to use Bestial Roar, and anybody that's left will actually attack. But the thing is, like I said, the teams are very easy to beat. If you're not killing somebody on that opening attack, you're pretty much done for. And Torchy's just not reliable on that front. And that actually opens things up to discuss the PvP offense instead. In the last video, I said probably the best place that a full beast team shines is in PvP offense. The reason being is you get to control who you're attacking, and you can determine how you're going to operate things. PvP defense, you don't know who Torchy's going to attack, and you don't know who they're going to bring against you. And this is also why I did this at a start of a new season. So, nice thing about Torchy is he is fast. The downside to Torchy is he dies easy. This Kira here is not super strong, but he might still kill Torchy. But a beast team can handle these guys here. So if we go Torchy, and then we will even go with Grognog again. Grognog is going to kill Nitpick. That's definitely going to happen. We will bring in Pygnius, and then for my third, I'm actually going to use... Where is he? Jungle King Julius, there he is. Pretty confident I'll actually win this one. The only way I won't win this one is if Kira kills Torchy. Like I said, that's the downside of using this. You need a fast hero pretty much for all PvP unless you're really, really, really stacked in defense and health. Even if you max out defense and health, Torchy's just never going to be high enough. He's going to get killed by anybody at high levels. And then mine's going to be no exception. Unless he dodges. But Kira's opening attack, it's a double attack, so he has to, dodge both of those. It probably wouldn't be a one-shot, but Black Diamond really loves to kill Torchy. But if we get our opening attack, we're actually good. Like I said, this is a lower league, but this guy is technically 70, so fair game. Just like that. And remember, Julius and Pigneus, neither of these guys have runes on them, so I'm actually relying pretty much solely on Grognog. There's that nice pack tactics. You don't see that very often where they all retaliate like that, but this will be a one-hit, one-kill. Major damage. And down they go. Oh, that Kira, that dodgy little Kira. I'm not overly concerned about that, though. He's pretty much toasted anyways. So, PvP offense, like I said, it's not anything really exciting. But if you get a couple of good dungeons, or a couple of raid options, you can certainly win some. But honestly, if you already have a solid raid team to begin with, if you have people like Decked Out Shadowblade and Kira, there's no sense in trying to use a beast team. It's more of a novelty than anything. So like I said, as far as PvP defense goes, your number one target opponent is going to be unsuspecting people. People that don't realize that both Julius and Grognog offer health buffs. And then you have a third person on there like Bovis, who has way more health than a person expected, and they tried to kill him with Torchy, for example, or they tried to kill him with just somebody that wasn't going to kill him, and then you catch them off guard. But anybody at level 70, if you haven't identified the synergies between the beasts at this point here, you would deserve to lose those fights anyways. But for lower levels, between 20 and 30 or so, it might be a good idea. I didn't even look at anything on this one. I just picked it just for the sake of picking it. But the beast team is it's not a guaranteed win on offense or defense. And like I said, if I ever see a beast team on defense, it's a guaranteed win for me. I don't know that I've ever lost to a beast team at max level, just because they don't have the potency as other meta PvP heroes have. There's just too many other good ones out there. Now, the one exception might be is if somebody's able to equip all legendaries on all four of their guys. Then, sure, maybe the defense would hold water against moderate teams. But anyone who has runes on their attacking heroes is simply going to laugh that off. Like I said, I would beat any defensive team, usually with a fast team, and probably just round it out with Koros, who will wipe the team. So occasionally Kai will kill Torchy. Doesn't happen a lot, but occasionally it does. So as far as who's the important one to kill here, honestly, I don't know that it really matters. In fact, one of the nice things about PvP offense versus defense, when you bring in Torchy, you have the option to do a basic attack, and 1, go for the Hog Wild, 2, go for the Epic. And I see no reason to not try that. I'm not worried about either of their skills. So let's try for Epic. Didn't get it, but I got a Hog Wild and killed her anyways. So, not a big deal. We will do Snow Day. Always nice to have. And Ponty, he might kill Torchy. He did not kill anybody, but he did get retaliated against. And then this one's basically over. But again, these are, low ones. So Snow Day for this one gives a debuff. It's not going to do anything for Furnace, but hoping one of these days they add in auto attack for PvP. Just because when you get to these points, you know they're victories. It'd be nice if you could just auto through it, but I digress. So we'll do one more raid after this one. I'll pick pick whatever's on the hard side. Like I said, if you want to play with beast teams, it's more of a novelty than anything. It's not really a team that you're going to use long term, unless you strip all your best runes from all your best heroes and put them on one single beast team, which I don't know. I don't see the point in doing so. They might be formidable, but it's not something that's a high priority for me, at least. Alright, so we'll pick the one on the far right and see what the difficulty is here. Actually, the middle one looks like it's the toughest one. This will be an instance where, yeah, this will be a perfect example where the beast team just is not going to stack up to it, because they have 2 fast heroes to start with. Unless Torchy gets extremely dodgy, this is going to be a rough one. Plus, keep in mind that Julius and Pygnius are both, they're non-runed. So, it's very easy for them to get killed. So, unless my Grognog is way tougher than anybody that they have, which I highly doubt that's the case, this one will actually be a typical example of a loss that you would see at level 70 once you get out of the bottom of the barrel leagues. Now, I'm in the low leagues because I don't do a lot of PvP anymore. It's not that I don't like it. It's partially because I don't like it. But when you're running 2 accounts and trying to keep up with quests and guild stuff and recording videos for twice a week posting, you don't have a lot of time to do 30 or 40 raids a day. So if anybody wonders why I don't do PvP, it's never really been my thing. I realize that a lot of mobile games are based off of PvP, and that's kind of counterintuitive that I would play a game that's so heavily focused on PvP, but that's me. I've always been a PvE type of a player, so... The benefit of this one here, Shadowblade didn't go for Torchy, which is nice because I get an attack now, and I can actually silence... Nope, I can't. Never mind. It was good in theory. But Kira played Dodgy McDodgerton face. But Torchy did right back to him. And a little bit of retaliation there. Had I known I was going to be able to soak that, I would have silenced Igorok instead. I tell you, I'd absolutely love it if I beat this team here. I don't see that happening, to be honest. I mean, Shadowblade is he's gonna dominate on his next turn. So Julius seems like he's kind of dead in the water. I could either try to add debuffs to them, or I can taunt and save everybody else. But Kira would kill him in one hit. Shadowblade would kill him in one hit. Pretty much everybody would kill him in one hit. So debuff seems the best route to go. Who am I going to throw it on? I'll try and hit Kira. He's the most dangerous. Oh, shock damage on Nub Nub. I hope I get a chance to actually hit him. I don't get to use shock damage a lot. I wish my Dagon was maxed out. When I beat the campaign the first time, boy, that chi attack was weak sauce when he was diseased. My God. I never expected Julius to survive that. That is something, especially with no runes. That disease must have completely devastated him. He's still alive. How the hell is that possible? Seriously, how is that possible? I've seen Hagrim with his Dwarven Fury die faster than that. I just don't get it. How Julius could possibly be alive. I'm afraid to say, Mr. Fergunoso, you're gonna be put on blast here for not sealing the deal. This is like Patriots and Falcons neighborhood here, because there's no way I should have ever won that raid. Not with 2 guys with no runes against a good Kira and a good Shadowblade, but hey, I'll take it. So there's your beast team for PvP. I said it 4 or 5 times already. Nothing special, just something to play with. So if there was more quests out there that said do PvP with some beasts on it, sure, it could be viable at a certain point, but it's certainly not something you can really use long term. So take it with a grain of salt. If you're lower level and you have a couple of beasts, certainly it doesn't hurt to string a couple of them together. Try and get some synergies. I know synergies can be tough to come by early in the game, so the sooner you can get them, the better. It'll make you better in PvP. But ultimately, the name of the game in PvP as far as defense goes at low levels, get your ascensions up as fast as you can. If you have fully ascended heroes in PvP defense, you're already miles ahead of the game. So my PvP defense on my other account is pretty good, but nobody's ascended and it gets beat all the time. So ascend those heroes and your PvP defense will be all the better for it. And then if you can throw some synergies in, feel free to do so. So that's going to wrap up this edition of the Tactical Series. If you would like to see any other teams or you'd like to look at any other combinations of heroes, send me your suggestions. I'll be happy to look at them, and then we will come up with the next latest and greatest thing as far as synergetics, if you would call them, or synergies. Probably just synergies, but I'm going to call it synergetics for now. So until next time, we'll see you again. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. If you like this video, please show your continued support by hitting that like button, and be sure to check out both my YouTube channels for new content all the time. And always remember, peace is a lie, there's only passion. We'll see you next time.